pimp himself up here. Say, hold on, let me change the screen. Change it. Dapper Hall, you there, sir?
I'm in the house. What's going on tonight,
Man,
brother?
what's good, brother? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is
Another night,
this is this is this is Dapper Hall himself in the flesh. Okay,
another
RDF
night,
himself. All we do is rest, dress, and finesse.
flash and finesse. I was out earlier checking traps. Now I'm back.
Listen, I'll check your trash. Now you back. listen, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this pimping is worldwide. This pimping is international. You heard me? So we about to get into it. Someone said play again. All right, I'm gonna play it one last time, y'all. I'm gonna play it one last time, and we gonna see what Dapper Hall has to say about it. I'm gonna play the audio one last time, y'all.
I don't mind going 50-50 with no man. But a man got to understand, as long as you got me going 50-50 and I'm a mother, please do not expect 100% woman or 100% submission from me. I don't have time. When I get off work, I have to pour into my children. So therefore, no, we might not eat a home cooked meal every day. This house might not be cleaned every day. No, I might not be able to keep up with the grocery shopping, the organizing, the household product shopping. We may run out of toilet tissue because I had to work a 12-hour shift yesterday and I forgot to stop and get something. But I got your half of the rent money, though. Nah, baby, I can't suck no dick tonight. I'm tired. Work kicked my ass. Then I had to make sure that I got the kids situated, got them for bed, got them ready for school the next day. Now it's time for me to go to bed because I got to get up in the morning to go work again because you need half of the bill money. Please do not expect me to be 100% woman if you got me being 50% man, Sugarfoot. I ain't got no problem with it, but you might. You want to go 50-50? Be prepared to go 50-50 on everything. I don't feel like doing the dishes. You got to do them today. I'll do them tomorrow, Sugar. You gave me the option to say no.
Oh man. Listen, y'all. I know. I'm already knowing. I'm gonna ask. I'm just gonna ask Dapper Hall the questions, y'all. And this is gonna be interesting, man. Y'all go get your wine glass, go get your snacks, get comfortable, man. It's gonna be interesting. Dapper Hall, what are your initial thoughts on the audio? What are your initial thoughts on what you just heard?
Well, most of her comments are logical. It's logical. If y'all are in an economical situation where y'all do have to split the bills, you can't possibly expect that woman to do everything in the household. She's not a slave. She's not a robot. So her comment does make sense, but it has a few red flags embedded in her. So her comment does make sense, but it has a few red flags embedded in her comment that has to be highlighted. First off, women start like to talk about being submissive and being half woman and half man. A woman's femininity and her being a woman should never be predicated on what a man does or the situation she's in. She should always conduct herself as a woman, just like as a man, you should always be able to conduct yourself as a man, no matter the situation you find yourself in. Another thing is she kept on going on about children. I have children and this. Who children are those children she's talking about? So is she expecting a man to come along and to take on the full responsibility of her and these children that are not his children? Come on. And if that's the case, they shouldn't be going 50-50. She should actually incur more of the cost because those damn children got to be compensated for. So it is what it is. But I'm going to turn it back over to you. And one other thing I wanted to point out just from the picture, this woman doesn't have the face to even validate her even talking about a man taking care of her like that. She's not a trophy. A lot of women got to realize you don't meet the physical qualifications to be taken care of by a high value man. That's just is what it is. And a lot of them don't want to face up to that. A lot of them got truck driver faces. A lot of them got Amazon warehouse faces. A lot of them got truck driver faces, and they gonna go to work and have to work an 8-hour shift. That's it. That is what it is. It's some real attractive women. They can get by on their looks. They not gonna have to work as hard. Some women gonna have to work hard because they got faces like junkyard dogs. It is what it is. But I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Noble. I don't want to be long winded.
All right. Okay. So, so Dapper Storm. Um. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this personally, and you will speak for yourself on this question. And then, even though you're a man, because we don't have any women up here right now, I'm gonna ask you what you think would be ideal for most women, and what you think most women would actually be satisfied with. So, the question is, what will the ideal financial situation be for you in a relationship, and what do you think would be satisfying to most women?
The problem is the word ideal. There is no ideal that would cover everyone. And see, that's what people don't understand. Everybody gets on this internet and they get on these platforms, and everybody makes $100,000, and everybody rich, and everybody vacations on the south of France, Sandro Pay, and everybody kids go to private school, and everybody's a 10, and they're living in a fantasy world. It's no ideal situation. You might be in a situation this year where your wife makes $100,000 and you make 60, and she may have to incur more of the cost. The next year you may make 200,000, she might make 10,000, and then you incur most of the cost. People got to get out of this mindset where everything is imaginary and everything's supposed to be this ideal for everyone. Everyone's situation is different, especially in the economic climate we're living in right now.
You're 100% right about that. But if men and women did have their way, if they were able to have their way. Oh, so okay, so for you personally,
Mm-hmm.
what if you're a widow woman, I know you're married, and
Mm-hmm.
because like you said, I mean, in reality, there is no ideal situation. No one knows tomorrow. No one knows the future. Like you said, this year she might not have to contribute a dime.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, she might be the breadwinner. She might carry most of the load, like you said. People lose their jobs. People get sick. Life happens. Like you're 100% right about that. But for you personally, what is your ideal situation going to be? And again, there's a lot of women nowadays on the internet saying that they're not interested in going 50-50 with a man. So, what do you think the financial situation would be that most women would actually be satisfied with?
I think most women would actually prefer a man to incur most of the cost. But just like I said, a lot of women can't validate them requiring a man to incur all the costs. They don't have the physical aesthetics for it. They don't have the a lot of these, and let me tell you something, a lot of these women that try to predicate their behavior on how much money a man makes or how much he provides, they just bullshitting you. Because if they even get in a situation where a man does meet all these specifications, they're going to be who they are no matter what. If she doesn't cook and clean, and she doesn't provide the home economics, or she's not a domestic person, she's not going to be a domestic person no matter what kind of man she's with. It's some women that naturally are nurturing. They think of taking care of their man as part of their responsibility, and it's part of their love language to nurture and to take care of their man and their family. A lot of women aren't like that. They weren't raised in that environment. They weren't raised up to value that in their lifestyle. So you got a lot of women that try to make that a prerequisite to be with a man, or they want to predicate their behavior on a man providing or this and that. And those women aren't going to change no matter what happens. They're not going to be domesticated. They're not going to be nurturing because it's not in their nature. They haven't been raised up to do so.
That's a fact. So forget 50-50. Do you think women are interested in contributing financially at all to a relationship these days?
I don't, and most of them I don't. But I think a lot of them are being disingenuous also, because a lot of these women that are online saying they have no interest in contributing to relationships have never been in relationships where they haven't had to contribute, because like I said before, a lot of them aren't attractive enough to require that from a man. So you get a lot of people on the internet, oh, I'd rather be by myself. That's because they've come to the realization that no, it's not going to be the white picket fence, the 2 kids, and the 1 dog. It's going to be them by themselves, because what they're trying to require from another individual is not going to happen. It's not logical, and it's not feasible. Straight up, it just is what it is. And a
So
lot of these women, and in a lot of cases, what I try to tell people is, a lot of women try to say they want men to make a certain amount, or women have the hardest times being able to identify men who earn money, or men who are really worth money. Right now, you can give the average dude a luxury car, you can dress him up fancy, and the average woman can't tell you if he has money or not. Straight up. That's what it is. What it is. That's how most of them end up with broke baby daddies.
that's I 100% agree with what you just said. And someone in the comments, a woman in the comments just said, guys base everything on looks. I hate that. Mahogany, I honestly think women more so, focus more on appearance, um, and not just like physical appearance, but just like Dapper Storm just said, like, you know, give them a luxury car, um, put them in a nice suit, put them in some fancy clothes, and you know, y'all think that that equates to a man's financial status. Y'all think that, you know, because a man's driving a certain car, you don't know if that's his car or not. You don't know if that's his friend's car. You don't know if that's his dad's car. You don't know if it's a rental. You know, he's wearing whatever he has on. Y'all think that that equates to his financial status as well. And like he just said, that's how a lot of women, especially in our community, that's how they end up becoming baby mamas. That's how they end up having a broke baby daddy.
They
Because
fall
for
for
whatever
all the
reason,
trapping.
a lot of these men that's not really having, you know, they be having that shit on somehow, some way. I don't know how, but they be having it on. Did you want to say anything before I go on to the next question?
No, go ahead on to the next question.
Okay.
We're on the roll.
Yeah, we on the roll. So as you heard her say in that audio, she said, "Well, if I'm going to be working, um, if I'm going to be working and going half on the bills with you, you shouldn't." She said, "You shouldn't. You're going to need to understand that I'm not going to be having the energy to do X, Y, and Z all the time." So my question is, if a man paid 100% of the bills and the woman still worked and it was, you know, still had a career, was still making her money, do you think she'd still have the same mindset pertaining to those things? And this is my thing. Like I said earlier, um, I think a lot of these women, um, especially nowadays, because nowadays if you ask me, women my age are not trying to be traditional women. Women my age are trying to go to college. They're trying to have a career, trying to make money, whether it be an entrepreneur, start their own business, start their own brand. They really out here trying to get money. So my thing is, okay, so you said if he's going to have you paying half of the bills, he shouldn't expect you to be doing certain things. But what if he is paying all the bills and you're still going to work and making your money, you're still coming home tired? Are you still going to be motivated to do those things because he is paying all the bills now? So that's my question. Do you think if the man is paying 100% of the bills but still allowing her to go to work and make her money and not contribute, do you think her mindset is going to change pertaining to those things?
And that speaks back to the point I made in my previous diatribe. No, it's not. Like I said, people don't change their stripes. It's an old saying: zebras don't change their stripes, cheetahs don't change their spots. These women are not domesticated, and they're not nurturing to begin with. So no matter what a man can provide for them financially or what situation they're put in, they're not going to be nurturing, and they're not going to be domestics. It's straight up what it is. You see, but that's just like right now, as for me putting down or predicating me being a man on the behavior of a woman. It's ridiculous. I should operate in this capacity of being a man no matter what a woman does. For me to predicate my behavior on what a woman does would be ridiculous, and vice versa. A woman predicating her behavior on what a man does is ridiculous. Right now, you can take most of these women, you can put them in a 4-bedroom home, you can pay 100% of the bills, and you will still come home and the house will still be filthy, and the kids won't be fed, and the dog won't be fed, and the dog won't be walked, because that's not what they are. Even the ones who claim that's what they want to be, you'll come home, they'll be sitting on the couch watching soap operas, the dishes will be dirty, it won't be any food, and they think that's good. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, some women's love language is being nurturing and taking care of their man, and that's really, that to them, that's their biggest flex. Other women aren't like that. So, right now in modern society with modern women, you find it far and few in between that women feel that way. They don't feel like it's a flex to take care of their man and their family to the highest standard as far as domestic responsibilities.
I 100% agree. Is it safe to say most women are concerned with a man's financial status and what he can do for her in the future more than his character, personality, morals, values, etc.? If so, why do you think that is?
I think that's true in the case of a lot of these women who've been scorned. I think a lot of women start out in their younger days. A lot of women go by physical attraction primarily when they're younger. They go by who's the cutest, who got good hair, this and that. Just like I said, that's why you got a lot of single moms out here with real cute kids with deadbeat baby daddies. But then when they move on, and after they go through their maturation process and they've been in numerous relationships, then they start seeing different qualities that they want to require in men. But in a lot of circumstances, it's too late by then. And see, that's what people don't understand in society right now. When women aren't supposed to be out here just going from relationship to relationship to relationship, because it's just like a used car. Once a used car gets to prime example, now I'm glad I made the used car analogy up. When you buy a brand new car, you know exactly what you got. It's a brand new car. You know it's gonna run 100,000 miles. You're not gonna have any problems. You just taking it for scheduled maintenance. Being the second owner of that car is still not a bad situation. You would prefer to be the first owner, but you'll take a second owner because you know the car was under warranty. The first owner had the money to be able to afford that car, and you know the car is still basically in good shape. By the time you the third owner of that damn car, you a fool because it have been two other owners of that car. It got probably over 160,000 miles. And by the time it get to the third owner of the car, you must realize the third owner could never afford that car to begin with, start from off the lot brand new. So that person really shouldn't even be driving that automobile. And it's the same thing when you're dealing with women in relationships. A lot of these women, they've been through too many relationships. And it's just like in the book Pimp by Iceberg Slim. A lot of people don't understand that women are on a pitch count when it comes to sexual encounters. Once a woman reaches a certain number of sexual encounters with random men, they are mentally insane. And there's no way around it. I might sound misogynistic, I might sound crazy, but it's 100% true. And it is what it is.
Wow. Black Girl Speak say he's right. Men who can
It's
afford new
100%
don't
true.
buy old. I know that's
They
right.
don't bow.
Someone said pimping. This pimping is worldwide.
It's real. All I do is
It's
rest, dress, and
international.
finesse. Sometimes I impress.
Someone said you get the car you can afford.
And that's the 100% truth.
No, they saying you speaking facts. If there's
Yeah.
if there's a woman in here or any woman in here that disagree with anything that he just said, you're free to come up here and dispute what he said.
Rolls Royce doesn't have to advertise. You ever seen a Rolls Royce advertisement before?
No.
It's a reason why. It's a reason why. That's why you don't see a lot of top caliber men and a lot of top caliber women walking around in their late 30s, early 40s, and 50s still single. You're not gonna see it. That's why you see a lot of these older women, they walk around, oh, it's not any good men out here. Well, older women, a lot of dudes say they hit the wall. I don't like to use that. I don't like to use that analogy or whatever of women hitting the wall. But a lot of these women have hit the wall and they're in their 40s and 50s, and they're seeing themselves as competition for younger women, and they're expecting to all these high value men, all these quality men to gravitate to them, and that's not the case. Most of those men that those women are talking about, what they're calling good men are looking for, those dudes are married and been married for years for real. And if they lucky, they might catch one on the rebound coming out of a divorce or something. But then a lot of guys at that age coming out of divorce, they're so set in their ways, they don't even have the inclination of wanting to go back into another long-term relationship.
No, that's facts. So, Dapper Storm, let me ask you a question, OG.
Mm-hmm. Go right ahead.
For younger men, you know, for men my age, that's whether they in their early 20s, mid 20s, you know, that's in this dating market, that's in this dating climate right now.
I feel sorry for y'all. I feel sorry for y'all. Go ahead with the question, baby.
Hey, for those of us that, you know, we aspire to be this provider man, right? Like, you know, 50-50 is only like something that is a discussion for us on the internet. That's not something that we've ever thought about. That's not something that we've ever seen growing up. We really want to take care of our woman. We really want to take care of our family. We want to be like, you know, the breadwinner in our household. But like, you know, with these modern women, listen, like I said, OG, me personally, I think, you know, good luck to the men out here that are trying to find these quote unquote traditional women. I just don't think that's like a thing anymore. I don't think girls are being raised to be traditional women. And like I said, girls are more so being raised like these women really want to have careers, whether they're working for a corporation or whether they're working for themselves. Like they want to get money too. So me personally, I'm not looking for nobody to, and I never have, honestly. I'm not looking for nobody to stay at home. When I do have kids one day, you know, I hope that I have a woman that's going like, you know, want to be with, you know, the kids during those early years. But my question is, I mean, just like finding a woman that's like is, you know, not scorned like you said, a woman that, you know, if you were to leave her in the house all day in a 4-bedroom house, pool in the backyard, that when you come home from work, you will have a meal made for you. Somebody that is going to be loving, caring, and compassionate to you. What advice would you give to a man as far as like going about trying to find a woman like that nowadays?
It's all about discernment, and it's all about being able to interact with a woman and to discern what type of woman she is. And just it goes back to the point I was making when I was saying that the average woman, especially young women, can't differentiate a low value man from a high value man by his appearance. It's the same thing with men. Men can't differentiate high value women from average women a lot of times, because see what the problem with most men is, and it goes back to what one of the young women said earlier. Men are very visual. And see, when you deal with visual, then you start delving into carnality. When you deal with carnality, you're talking about a lower vibration and operating in your lower self. So then you're not thinking with a ruling class mentality. You're not being magnanimous. You're not being pragmatic. You start lowering your standards to all a woman can do for you is to be a sexual exploit, sexual exploit. You know what I'm saying? And I seen in an interview one time that Mike Tyson did. Mike Tyson said, men are brought up, especially young black men in our community, we're brought up to see women a lot of time as sexual conquest. So we want want to see who can get the highest body count the fastest in our younger days. We want to sow our wild oats. That's what we out there doing. We're omni predators. We want to take them down. We want to knock them down. Whatever colloquialism you want to use, we want to be predators and we want to be out here. But it's to our detriment for real, because the most valuable thing we have as black men on this planet is our seed. We need to protect our seed before we do anything. And impregnating these low-level random women is the worst thing we could be possibly doing out here. Because just like Mike Tyson said, I'd have had sex with all these women. And sometimes the encounters lasted 4 minutes. Sometimes they last 5 minutes. If it's a good night, you might give her 45 minutes. But Mike Tyson said he has paid women hundreds of thousands, not into the millions of dollars for these encounters. So who actually was the beneficiary of that encounter?
The woman.
Exactly. You got to ask yourself in this society right now, who is the who finds themselves in the most advantageous situation from these interactions between men and women? Outside of being married to a woman, if you have a child by a woman right now, who actually comes out in the more advantageous situation?
If you said if a man and a woman,
if you lay down with a one, you're a young man, you out here, you sowing your wild oats. If you lay down with a woman and you get her pregnant, who has the upper hand in that relationship from that point in this society?
well, she does.
Of course. And a lot of men don't understand that. And they can't recognize that because a lot of them have never been taught anything. A lot of young black dudes ain't never really been taught anything. They haven't had anybody to act as a steward over them and drop real knowledge on them for real. Especially when it comes to women, because it's a lot of older dudes who don't really know shit about women or how they should be governing themselves and interacting with women. All they concerned with is women being sexual exploits. That's all. But right now, like, to go back to the point, if you have a baby by a woman right now, say you impregnate her, it's only two of y'all laid down to have that baby. It's one of y'all that only gets to decide whether the baby's even born or not.
Right.
The woman gets to decide whether the baby's even born or not. She has the first right of refusal. You have no say so because they say it's a woman's body, it's her choice, and I agree with that. But how can a woman make a choice for you and her both when both of y'all chose to lay down and procreate to make a child? How is only one person able to shoulder the burden of that responsibility to make the decision for both of you? And then if she brings the child into the world, okay, she brings the child into the world. If she decides she doesn't want to be with you, in most states, it's automatically assumed by the court that they would rather the child stay with the woman than you 90% of the time to 95% of the time. It's an automatic rule of thumb that the court system in the state would rather the child reside with the mother and remain with the mother over the father, unless it's extenuating circumstances that disqualifies the mother from that. That's another disadvantage to it. So then once they decide that they want the child to reside with the mother, then it's only one thing that comes after that. It's the child support, and they expect you to monetarily provide for this child and this woman. And we know in a lot of cases, when it comes to you providing for the child and the woman, then that extends to basically you taking care of the woman. So
I want to hear what your thoughts on this are, because you just mentioned the whole her body, her choice.
mm-hmm.
So what I often say, and I've said here on my platform, is there's a lot of times where first of all, a lot of these women, a lot of these single mothers, they're not conceiving children with and having babies by men that they were in relationships with, men that they were dating. A lot of these situations were like jump off situations, like it was just a vibe and we was having a good time and we just so happened to engage in that activity and we ended up conceiving a child. But they don't be knowing this man from a can of paint. They don't be knowing his last name. They don't be knowing what he does for a living, if he even has a job. So they sleep with Ladarius. Ladarius get them pregnant, and when they tell Ladarius, like, "Hey, I'm pregnant," Ladarius tells them, "Hey, don't have that baby." Like, there's a lot of instances I know Ladarius and they be telling them, "Don't have that baby. If you have that baby, I'm not going to support the baby. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to be there." But what do they do? They still go ahead and want to proceed with the pregnancy, right? My body, my choice. Whether it's because of religious reasons, whatever the case may be, they go through and they have the baby, and then right after they have the baby, when they realize, like, oh, this is real, then they have to, thank you, Miss Sharice, for the roses. Then 9 weeks later, they at the city hall. They telling everybody that, oh, Ladarius ain't this, that, and the third, but Ladarius told you not to have the baby.
Yeah,
Why did you go ahead with the baby?
He's labeled as a deadbeat when that's not the case. And to me, it's irresponsible at the minimum. At the far end of the spectrum, it's very tragic because you're bringing a life into a situation where they basically don't have any opportunity. They're put in a situation where they only have one parent because you didn't have two willing participants in the creation of this child. Well, you had two willing participants in the creation of this child physically, but not anything morally or ethical was put forth before the conception of this child. It's ridiculous in a lot of cases. And this is one thing that happens in the Black community that needs to be highlighted that nobody chooses to highlight. When we speak about deadbeat fathers and women having children outside of wedlock and men not taking care of children, it's never brought up that a lot of these women are having children by men who explicitly tells them, and they understand that these men don't want to have children by them, but they still take it upon themselves to bring these children into the world, and no one ever speaks about
it. And that's my thing. So the same way, like you said, because at the end of the day, right? If she wants to have, oh my gosh, my bad, Miss Sharice, I meant to put hearts. If she wants to have the baby, OG, it's all, if she's pregnant, like you said, whether she wants to proceed or not proceed, it's all on her. Because people rarely talk about the instances where the man does want to have the baby, but she doesn't want to have the baby, so she gets rid of the baby. But they don't see that in the same light as the man saying, when the man says, "I don't want to have the baby," now you're neglecting responsibility. Now you're being a deadbeat and this, that, and the third. So the same way you say, my body, my choice, his life, his choice, right? I just think that's fair. I'm not condoning. I'm not saying that men should be going out here impregnating all these different women and then just, being sexually irresponsible and then just trying to say don't have the baby. But like, both parties engaged in negligent behavior. So exactly. If one party say nay, it's nay. But if the woman says nay, it's nay. But if the man says nay, it's a problem. Make sense.
Yeah, it's hypocritical for real. It's hypocritical, and it really doesn't. It makes sense because it's been taking place since the beginning of man, basically. So that's the only reason that it makes sense, or it makes any kind of logic. But like I tell people that work for me all the time, just because you've been doing something a certain way for a long time, that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it correct. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we're operating in a capacity where the shit we doing just don't make any logic. And that's why we are in the position we in our community right now. You telling me that a woman has the right to terminate a pregnancy, whether the man wants her to or not, but the man doesn't have any say so in the matter at all. It just doesn't make any sense. And in no other situation or anything that we encounter in our society right now would this be looked at in the same light. But because it's been this way for so long, we look at it like it makes sense, and it doesn't. It's illogical.
It's very illogical.
Somebody in the comments say the man made his choice. That's a ridiculous statement to even make, because no one lays down and expects to have a child 100% of the time. No, so all of that, if you didn't want to have a baby, you shouldn't have had sex. That's bullshit. No one female or male has sex with the intentions of procreating 100% of the time. That's why we had to come up with the idea of casual sex. And a lot of people are too young to even know when they coined that phrase. But I remember in the 80s when they coined the phrase casual sex, because it was very taboo at one time for men and women to be engaging outside of having sex outside of marriage. And not saying it didn't take place, but when you had these young girls that was ending up pregnant in these outside of wedlock, it was frowned upon. Back in the day, if a girl got pregnant and she won't marry, they sent her ass off to go live with the uncle and the aunt out of town or something. You know what I'm saying? It won't like it is now.
Someone said, we both know that men will walk anytime. Mahogany, look, I'm gonna say this. This is what I always say. Okay, I'm gonna speak to the situation, but just in life in general, if you're a person that has something to lose, you should be living your life. You should be walking this earth operating as if you have something to lose. And my thing when it comes to sex, women, y'all have more to lose in this situation. So, Mahogany, the same way you said that a man, there's a possibility that he can just walk away. If you know going into this situation that you're the one that has more to lose, you should be operating like you have more to lose. You should not be having unprotected sex with a man that you don't want to have a baby by. You probably I'm not gonna go as far as to say you shouldn't be sleeping with a man you don't want to possibly have a baby by, but like, why are you having unprotected sex? Okay, forget about even pregnancy. What can possibly come out of having unprotected sex? STDs, STIs, pregnancy. So you're subjecting yourself to all three of those things when you have unprotected sex with someone, and you have more to lose. You're the one that's going to have to walk around with a child in your stomach for 9 months. He's not going to have to do that. So you should be the one that's operating like you have more to lose. And to the ladies in here, well, he should put a condom on. Listen, ladies, we're not going to do that, okay? I'm not going for that argument. As a woman, a man can only insert himself inside of you raw if you allow it. And clearly a lot of you are allowing it. Because to be honest, that's how a lot of you women would rather prefer it be that way. It feels better for y'all too. Let's really talk about it. Someone said, yes, Roro, you can come on here if you want to. Let me play the audio again so you guys can know
so we can get back. We got a little bit off track here. We got a little bit off track. We're gonna play the clip.
We didn't get off track. We having a good conversation. We talking about stuff that needs to be talked about.
We covering all our bases. Let's roll.
Yeah. This is the original topic though, y'all.
I don't mind going 50-50 with no man. But a man got to understand, as long as you got me going 50-50 and I'm a mother, please do not expect 100% woman or 100% submission from me. I don't have time. When I get off work, I have to pour into my children. So therefore, no, we might not eat a home-cooked meal every day. This house might not be cleaned every day. No, I might not be able to keep up with the grocery shopping, the organizing, the household product shopping. We may run out of toilet tissue because I had to work a 12-hour shift yesterday and I forgot to stop and get something. But I got your half of the rent money, though. Nah, baby, I can't suck no dick tonight. I'm tired. Work kicked my ass. Then I had to make sure that I got the kids situated, got them for bed, got them ready for school the next day. Now it's time for me to go to bed because I got to get up in the morning to go work again because you need half of the bill money. Please do not expect me to be 100% woman if you got me being 50% man, Sugarfoot. I ain't got no problem with it, but you might. You want to go 50-50? Be prepared to go 50-50 on everything. I don't feel like doing the dishes. You got to do them today. I'll do them tomorrow, Sugar. You gave me the option to say no. I don't mind going 50-50 with no man.
And look, with you just playing that clip again, Brother Noble, I just want to know, can we delve into who kids are these in this conversation that we're having? Because this brings up another whole issue with this stepdaddy paradigm. This lady's talking about going 50-50 and everything's financial with the way they want to conduct themselves, and they want to put that forward as what they're going to predicate, what's their behavior in the home. Are they expecting men to come into a situation where they're taking care of other men's children and performing stepfather duties and still providing 100%? That's foolish. That the man has no incentive to want to do this.
OG, it's just I don't listen. Listen, I gotta take my glasses off now. We about to
You
get
gotta take the
serious.
glasses off. Get your
Yeah, we
bag
about to
right.
get serious. Listen, I don't know. I mean, listen, I think I have somewhat of an idea where a lot of these women's mentalities are coming from these days, but imagine being a single mom of multiple kids and um still having the audacity, still having the nerve, you know, to think that you can demand the same things as a woman that's childless and probably even has more to quote unquote bring to the table than you do. It's wild.
But see, it's a thin line between self confidence and delusion. And see, a lot of these women put this facade up or lead with this very self-assured persona when they're very insecure and they don't believe any of this shit that they're putting forward on the internet. These women have to know better than this because there's nobody checking for them. You see what I'm saying? This young lady on this pitch up here, nobody's signing up to pay 100% of her bills and take care of her 4 kids by them 3 different dudes that's down there in the lockup, down there in the county lockup. Nobody's doing that. Nobody with any sense. Now she can get a Pookie or Ray Ray to see she got the 4 kids, and they know she gonna get that $6,000 income tax check. So around every February or March, they'll come out around try to get that $6,000. The ask her can they buy a pound of weed so they can flip it. But other than that, ain't nobody signing up for them stepfather duties like that. Nobody signing up for that job, man. That's a tough job. And it's a thankless job. And if you want to know how thankless it is to be a stepfather, go back and you can look this up on YouTube. Go back and look when what's the kid name down in New Orleans? Zion. What's his
Zion
name?
Williamson.
Zion Williamson. When he got drafted and they called him up, he brought his mom and his mom and his brother up there, and he heaped all this praise on his mother for being such a great mother, this and that. He never said anything about his stepfather. And guess what? His stepfather was an AAU basketball coach and taught him how to play basketball.
Yep.
And when he got drafted, he didn't even bring the man up there to thank him or to congratulate him or anything. That's crazy, man. But it's a thankless job being a stepfather, you know.
I wanna address something that my girl Divine said. She asked, I want to make sure that I read her question verbatim.
Hmm.
She said, because I've okay. She said, "Why date a woman with kids if you don't plan on being a stepdad?" So I've spoken on this before, and I'm gonna speak on it again. Listen, it's why okay. If you want to ask that question, why are women that have kids, why are single mothers, why do they want to date childless men? Because
Exactly.
I can tell you personally from experience and talking to these women, OG, a lot of these single mothers, they don't even have a preference of dating men with kids.
They don't
I
even want men with kids themselves. Make it make sense, bro. It don't
I
make
have
sense.
I have asked them. I said wait. So you want a man to, you know, walk into you and your child or your children's life, assume that stepfather role, but you don't want to do the same for a man that has a kid or kids as well. And you know what they tell me? Well, I don't want to do the blended family thing. I don't want to deal with like a crazy baby mama. And but you know one of my lady friends told me that she has two children herself. She's a divorcee, older woman. She says a woman that say stuff like that. She said they don't want to deal with baby mamas like themselves. OG, that's what she said.
Exactly. And that's the case. They always talking about who crazier than some of these niggas that these women got babies by. that's in penitentiary trying to still collect phone calls to the house. It's real. It's real. And if you've been out here in society, you've seen it for real. If you interact with these women, you've seen it before. And I'm not even talking about low level women, because you find some of the highest level women are still dealing with some of the lowest caliber men in the community. You run into chicks that's traveling nurses that's making six figures, and they're still running with the trap boys and the scammers. You find chicks that are school teachers and lawyers and all and doctors, and they're still running with the lowest caliber men in the community just because they're handsome. And no one ever likes to bring up the fact that women are attracted to men that other women are attracted to. And a lot of time it's dope boys and it's scammers and it's the flash. It goes back to what we were saying before. They can't differentiate a dude who really got money from a dude who just putting on like he got money. That's all. And if you look at with trap boys and scammers, no matter how much money those guys come in their hand, it escapes right out. I've been in the streets before. I know how that shit works. You can be out there, you could be the biggest hustler in the game. It's all fleeting for real. It's all fleeting. As fast as you get the money goes out your hands. You can't do anything with it. It's illegal. If you try to do anything on a big enough scale, the feds come knocking at your door. You can't do nothing with it. And these are the type of dudes that these women are gravitating to. If most of these women are honest, they're looking for a trapper, an athlete, or athlete or entertainer, if they could have their pick. But this is such a small group and a small cross section of society. It's unrealistic. And it's really foolish for real. Right now in society with Instagram and the internet and everything going on, the average man has actually been relegated to nothing. You ain't supposed to get nothing. If you the average man right now in society, you ain't supposed to have no woman. You ain't supposed to have nothing. You just supposed to be a hermit, live in a cave, eat spam out of can, and don't be nothing. And see, that's where this whole proliferation of the passport bros is coming into play, and why so many women have a problem with the idea of dudes going at other places to find women, because they want to relegate these average dudes to being nothing and saying that they shouldn't have a woman. But when these dudes go find women, then they get upset by it. It don't make sense.
And another thing, Divine, is pertaining to you talking about uh childless men dating single mothers. Like I said, a lot of whether y'all want to, like, just acknowledge the truth or not, a lot of y'all, you have a preference of dating childless men, because again, you don't want to date men that have a baby mother, like yourself. And secondly, I've said this in the past, I say this as well. Women will date a single father, right? This is what they'll do, OG. They'll be there when it's time for the dates. They'll be there for the vacations, all the good times, right? But when that single father wants her to really, assume that role of being like stepmom to, whoever, to his kids, she doesn't want to do it. So she was there entertaining him the whole time, and she knew in the back of her head that, like, I'm not about to be like stepmama. Like, I'm not about to assume that role, play that role for his kids, but I'm gonna enjoy him in this experience while I can. So my whole point is, women do that to men all the time. These childless women be dating these single fathers, like I said. All the dates, all the vacations, they gonna be there. When it's time to have sex, they gonna be there. But when he finally comes to her that one day and says, "Hey, I want you to, like, assume this role. Like, I really want us to, like, take this further. I want you to be like, I want to introduce you to my kids, have you be stepmom." What do? Hit them with
Yeah,
this.
yeah, hit them with the piece. Hit them with
Hit
the
them with
piece.
this.
And as a man, if you are single father, like I say, you got to be able to practice discernment to even deal with women when you're bringing them into your life. And see, I went through this situation because I was a single father. I have 3 children, a son and 2 daughters. All of them are grown now. But I went through this situation, and at the time when me and my wife were dating, she had asked me one time about my children and when she would meet them or whatever. And I just had to explain to her, I'm like, look, as far as my kids go, I don't really introduce them to people until I understand that that's who I'm really choosing to be with for real. Because what's taken for granted a lot of times when you deal with relationships and then you have your children involved, you don't want your children to meet multiple people like this because you're dealing with their emotional and their mental health. And this is another thing in the Black community that's glazed over and nobody ever talks about it. These women and these men who have these multiple relationships that their children are observing firsthand, and the ramifications that come from these children witnessing these multiple relationships, and especially these single moms bringing all of these random dudes into their household around these young boys and these young girls. That's where a lot of this molestation takes place. That's where a lot of inappropriate stuff occurs, and nobody ever talks about it. It's something we got to address, though. And see, we starting off on a straight, and we got our blinders on. We talking about the young lady in the video, because see, we're spreading out to a lot of different facets of things that's plaguing our community right now.
Hold on, G. Listen, we got some new women in here. I want them to hear the audio. Look, I'm gonna play the audio one more time.
Yeah, play it.
Yeah, I want you to speak. I want you to reiterate again about the whole, how a lot of these women.
Do you want me to get on here?
Thank you for the ways. I want you to reiterate the whole.
I'm trying not to talk crazy, though. I'm trying to be real with them, babe. I'm trying to be real with them, man. Straight up. But it's real, I'm saying, listen, Noble, I'm trying to be real with them. It's a lot of women that just ain't gonna get no man that's gonna take care of them 100%. They got a body like Bernie Mac and a face like the Junkyard Dog. It's not gonna happen. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm saying,
Hey, you said they got the Amazon warehouse.
Got the Junkyard Dog face and got a body like Pee Wee Herman. It's just not gonna happen. You see what I'm saying? And see, don't get me wrong. See, you got this proliferation of this idea now that everybody should be able to get what they want. It's nothing wrong with that in ideal, but in practice, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Everybody ain't gonna get what they want. And everybody's telling everybody, oh, you shouldn't settle. No, a lot of y'all should settle. Y'all got faces for settling. And y'all got asses look like somebody hit your ass with a bag of nickels. A lot of y'all need to settle. Settle your ass right on down as fast as you can with the next available occupant. Dead serious. I'm being real. I got to be real with them because ain't nobody being real on the internet right now. Everybody make $100,000. Everybody gonna marry Halle Berry or Boris Cujo or Idris Elba. Ain't nobody living reality no more. All the men gonna pay 100% of the bills. The women gonna stay home and cook 6-course meals, and the kids gonna have their Sunday best outfit on every day going to their private school. It's not gonna happen. Let's bring them back to reality.
You said someone got Amazon warehouse space.
They're gonna be on that 12-hour Amazon shift, man. Straight up. There's no disrespect to nobody out there working at Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon is a good company, man. I love Amazon. They bring my packages on time every day. And they need employees there. So
Hey, no, too real for TV for real. We trying to tell
honest,
y'all,
man.
hey.
We need an influx of honesty into this conversation that we're having on the internet. Because I think a lot of this stuff, especially, and I hate to bring up Kevin Samuels, but I think a lot of what Kevin Samuels did in the whole manosphere and in the arena he did was positive. But I think that shit got people's mind way out in the clouds, man, to where they won't even think logical no more. People just talking crazy. Everybody's rich now.
But
Everybody's living this fancy life now. It's not the case.
you just said it though, OG. Like keywords, talking crazy. Because
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
listen, I've been telling these women from the jump. I tell them
Mm-hmm.
all the time on my platform, like 99.9% of y'all, you're not going to be with no athlete or entertainer.
Nah.
You're not going to be on private jets. You're not going to be in Rolls Royces. You're not going to be in Ferraris. You're not going to be in Lamborghinis. You're not
Mm-mm.
going to be in Dubai this month, in Ibiza next
Mm-mm.
month, and in Hawaii the month after that. Like that's not going to be your reality. What
Mm-mm.
what your reality is going to be is you are going to be with a man to where both of y'all are going to be working. Hopefully y'all got retirement plans at y'all job.
Mhm.
Y'all gonna buy like a house somewhere in the suburbs somewhere. Y'all gonna have a kid or two. Y'all gonna pay your house down, and y'all gonna figure it
Mhm.
out. After that, you're gonna live happily ever after. After that, that's what reality is gonna be for a lot of y'all. So they
But
listen. They get on the internet. They get on the internet, and they talk about I won't date a man. They talk about all these unrealistic, unjustified standards that they have. But in reality, like I tell them, they're dating the wannabe kingpin in a city. They're
mhm.
dating like the struggling rapper that you and I will never hear about.
Mhm.
They're dating the wannabe robber. What's really going on in
Right.
reality. They get on the
And
internet and cap though.
in reality, a lot of these people a lot of these women can hope for is to have a man that can help them fix that lace front. To help them straighten out that lace front when they get old, because them older women be having them crooked wigs. You done seen them before with them wigs on. Their wigs be like my hat. They be cocked to the side. They need somebody to pull them wigs on straight for them. But that's real talk, though, man. Like you said, for real, the American dream at one time was finding your better half. You finding you a decent job, that where you can make an honest living. You put in a hard day's work. You move. You have a 401k or a retirement plan or a pension. You work to try to pay to get you a house, to acquire you a house, to pay your house down, and you and your wife strive to give your children a good upbringing so they could go forward and be productive citizens. But see, they've moved the goalposts over the last, and I don't even know when this actually occurred, but it's been like right in the last 5 to 10 years that now women have these unreal expectations where everybody's supposed to have this Dubai lifestyle where you got two Bentleys and the kid go to private school and the house is $750,000, and it's just not the case. It's not the case for real.
Yeah, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and play the let me
Play the
go ahead
clip.
and play the audio again.
Mm, 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 mm.
No, they listen. If you're a woman, you're free to come up here and dispute anything that you hear.
We actually
My
want some
dapper
people to come
OG
up.
saying or me saying, you got to come up here. You're free to come up
Come on
here.
up.
Let's
I see
talk
a lot
about
of
it. You know what
comments.
I do here. Let's talk about it. But this is for those of you that see the woman in the on the green screen. This is what the topic is here tonight.
I don't mind going 50-50 with no man. But a man got to understand, as long as you got me going 50-50 and I'm a mother, please do not expect 100% woman or 100% submission from me. I don't have time. When I get off work, I have to pour into my children. So therefore, no, we might not eat a home cooked meal every day. This house might not be cleaned every day. No, I might not be able to keep up with the grocery shopping, the organizing, the household product shopping. We may run out of toilet tissue because I had to work a 12-hour shift yesterday and I forgot to stop and get something, but I got your half of the rent money though. Nah, baby, I can't suck no dick tonight. I'm tired. Work kicked my ass. Then I had to make sure that I got the kids situated, got them for bed, got them ready for school the next day. Now it's time for me to go to bed because I got to get up in the morning to go work again because you need half of the bill money. Please do not expect me to be 100% woman if you got me being 50% man, Sugarfoot. I ain't got no problem with it, but you might. You want to go 50-50? Be prepared to go 50-50 on everything. I don't feel like doing the dishes. You got to do them today. I'll do them tomorrow, sugar. You gave me the option to say no.
And let me address a comment someone said.
Mhm.
Someone said, um, let people want what they want. If they don't get it, oh well. Um, it's not about letting people um want or not want what they want. It's about being real with people, and informing them that if they want something, just like in real life, there's certain things that they're going to have to do to obtain what it is that they want. If someone wants to become a doctor, if someone wants to become a physician, they're going to have to go to medical school. They're going to have to graduate medical school. They're going to have to go to residency. They're going to have to successfully get through residency. You're not just going to be able to forego all of that and become a physician. If someone wants to become a lawyer, they're going to have to go to law school. They're going to have to pass law school. They're going to have to pass the bar exam. Like, there's steps that need to be taken in order to obtain certain things in life. So, we need what really needs to happen is we need to be real with people. You're not helping people by not being real with them. You're not helping people by letting them live in their delusion and being unrealistic and not and allowing them to think that they can be unjustified in wanting certain things or just believing certain things. That's not helping anybody. Like, you need to work for what you want in this life. Like, God, you don't just wake up and things just appear to you. That's not how life works. So that's that on that. What do you say?
And not only that, it's just with what you're hearing from women right now in today's, it's not ethical or moral for a lot of times when you're basing everything on finance. And right now in relationships, it's like everybody has this finesse game going, and I'm looking as a conscientious objector because I'm married. Yeah, I'm saying, so I don't really have a dog in the fight amongst single people and what's going on. I'm just observing what's going on, and then I give social commentary on it. And what I see a lot of time is like everybody's trying to run this finesse game. Who can get the upper hand on who, or who can lead the relationship? And it's just fool. It's a lot of foolishness going on. And you got this prosperity gospel mentality of everybody out here now where you can manifest this amazing life and this and that. And for real, when you're young, delusion is nothing that's impossible to you when you're young, because a lot of people are under programming from pop culture. They believe anything's possible, and there's no problem with having that mindset because you shoot for the stars, and if you don't hit the stars, you land on the moon. I understand all that. But a lot of times we get caught up in all this gravitas and all this larger than life shit, and we miss what's the real important things in life that we should be striving to obtain.
This is my thing though, OG. It is all right. It is all well for people to um I encourage people to, like, aspire for, you know, um quote unquote shoot for the stars. But
Exactly.
understand that, for you to obtain and achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve, that there's going to be like some hard labor that comes behind that.
Hmm.
Right? Like I was a full ride scholarship basketball player for 3 years in college. I was an All American one of those years, a first team All American. Like, you know, I was considered one of the best players in the country, right? So you don't just that doesn't happen by accident, right? Like, the
Hmm.
people that made that team, they probably like worked hard. They were talented, but they probably worked harder than a lot of other people to be able to, you know, make that a reality. So my whole thing is, like, you can shoot, you can want whatever it is that you want, but understand that there's going to have to be some work behind that.
Exactly. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You know, you'd have heard that saying before. If you're an athlete, I know you've heard it before.
Right. Corey said it was D3. Corey, I never played D3, sir. I was a JUCO All-American. I played NCAA
Oh man.
D2. Nice try though.
They be taking a lot of shots too. They be taking a lot of shots in the comments. They be
they
going
just
hard
hate.
on it. They ain't gonna get on the camera though. They'll get at your ass though.
That's
They
what
ain't
I'm
get on the camera.
saying. They talk so tough behind the. What's the topic? This is the topic, ma'am. The topic is we want to know how you women feel about. It's not even about 50-50 for real. It's just about women contributing financially in a relationship. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the audio again. And if you want to come up here and give your thoughts on it, you're free to do that.
I don't mind going 50-50 with no man. But a man got to understand, as long as you got me going 50-50 and I'm a mother, please do not expect 100% woman or 100% submission from me. I don't have time. When I get off work, I have to pour into my children. So therefore, no, we might not eat a home cooked meal every day. This house might not be cleaned every day. No, I might not be able to keep up with the grocery shopping, the organizing, the household product shopping. We may run out of toilet tissue because I had to work a 12-hour shift yesterday and I forgot to stop and get something. But I got your half of the rent money, though. Nah, baby, I can't suck no dick tonight. I'm tired. Work kicked my ass. Then I had to make sure that I got the kids situated, got them for bed, got them ready for school the next day. Now it's time for me to go to bed because I got to get up in the morning to go work again because you need half of the bill money. Please do not expect me to be 100% woman if you got me being 50% man, Sugarfoot. I ain't got no problem with it, but you might. You want to go 50-50? Be prepared to go 50-50 on everything. I don't feel like doing the dishes. You got to do them today. I'll do them tomorrow, sugar. You gave me the option to say no. I don't mind going 50-50.
Hold on, OG. I think we got to